sunny and windy. Los Angeles Coliseum the scene. A sellout as the Chiefs and Los Angeles Raiders battle for first place in the AFC West. Kansas City with a win earlier this year at Arrowhead with a game lead over their rivals from Los Angeles. And going back to Oakland and Kansas City, even to Dallas and Oakland, this is a rivalry.
Yeah, if you look for one in the AFC, this is it. These guys have never liked each other. Last time they met, the Los Angeles Raiders had 16 penalties. To give you an example of how intense this is, as Derek Thomas left the field going in the locker room, bumped by Andre Townsend, and then Howie Long confronts him. I think that's a little good-natured ribbing, but at the same time, these two teams are always pushing and shoving after every single play, Dick.
Jeff Jager will kick it off. Kansas City won the toss. Fred Jones deep for the Chiefs. 68,000 at the refurbished Coliseum. Jones spun down across the 20-yard line. Second down for Craig. And it's Allen's first carry. No gain.
There's the pushing and shoving.
They show blitz on 3rd and 8. Craig going up on top to Davis, and the ball not close. Well shut off was Davis by Lionel Washington, with Hoskins there to help. Tim Brown about to set the all-time Raider record in punt return yardage. Neil Colsey owns it just a handful of yards away, and this could do it for Brown. And just as he saw open field, 43-yard line, he's knocked out of bounds on a good, sharp, low tackle. Tim Brown in motion. Big hole for Robinson, and the rookie is to the 34-yard line. Stetler. Wide open, Steve Smith. The flag is down. Smith to the 9.
The underneath. We couldn't get the guy who came up with who was charged with the penalty.
First and goal. A very impressive opening drive as Napoleon McCallum has his first carry. And look at the former star at the Naval Academy. Power for yardage to the 4-yard line. Lieutenant McCallum. Hit on the 9-yard line, carried all the way to the 4 on that effort. He gets it again. Touchdown! Napoleon McCallum, who hadn't carried the ball in 2 years until his effort against Chicago last Sunday. He scored a touchdown against the Bears, and he gets the first score on the board today for the Raiders. Jager kicks it off, the 7-0 lead. Wynn holding it up as Jones on the return. Did he go down? No whistle, and we'll see if they mark it. No, apparently he was able to brace himself, and almost on the second effort, shot free for a long run. Fred Jones. Patrick Bates got him to the turf.
Nice little job of hurdling here by Jones. He sees all the mess there, hurdles over, puts his hand out. Whoa, wait a minute.
Down, but maybe not by contact. Maybe they felt that Raider didn't initiate the blow that forced the grounding. Well, 3rd and long again for Dave Craig. Oh, Chester McLaughlin.
Davis is open.
Free play for Craig. He's got his tight end downfield, and out of bounds goes Keith Cash. And flags down, and they're whistling that play dead in the midst of the action.
Then there must have been encroachment, which is contact.
Encroachment prior to the snap, defensive end, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Raiders second in the NFL in sacks with 28, one behind New Orleans starting today. The pitch back to Craig, and Craig going long for Davis. Whoa! Double covered, but Willie Davis had a shot at it. McDaniel and Washington, the 2 corners, converging on Davis. They were not fooled. Sporting a mustache. Robinson on first down, twisting for 6 yards. But you can see again those safeties, Bayless and Ross, they're backpedaling from the get-go. Robinson threw a big hole, and a first down out at the 48-yard line. A flag is down. 15 yards if it counts.
side, 90 defense. Penalties declined. First down.
Meanwhile, the Raiders very impressive. The first drive, they just hurried it downfield in 6 plays for a touchdown, and nothing close to being stopped yet. Hostetler over the middle, complete to Tim Brown. Brown's first catch. First down at the 30. Complete to Tim Brown at the 13. Albert Lewis covering. Boy, the Raiders at will moving the ball. 3rd and 1. Ooh, it looked like Smith was going forward. Napoleon McCallum fumbles. And who's got it at the 1-yard line? Kansas City, just as they did Monday night. The defense denying the opposition a big score inside the 5. Albert Lewis recovered the ball. Let's see who made the hit.
From behind the defense, we should be able to see here Smith with the lead block. It's Rogers, Tracy Rogers. He got hammered by Smith on the last touchdown. Albert Lewis picks up the ball. 1st and 99.5 for Kansas City.
2nd and 6. Over the middle to the 15 and a first down. Marcus Allen stepping up to hear the play call. And it's Allen who gets it. Straight ahead to the 19-yard line. A gain of a little more than 3. Craig changing the play. Batted right back in his face. On 3rd down, that gives the Craig-led Chiefs a first down. Bubble by Marcus Allen. Aaron Wallace had it. Pop free, but the Raiders control. Terry McDaniel following Aaron Wallace.
They run the weak side sweep. It's coming right at you. Good block, Kimball Anders, 38. McDaniel strips it away. Aaron Wallace with the recovery.
Wallace had it slid underneath him, then he may have gotten it on the 2nd try. And Terry McDaniel, his buddy, former friend of the Raiders, stripped him with a solid tackle. The Raiders take over at the 33, and Hostetler looks for something big. Well covered was Ethan Horton and Martin Bayless right there for Kansas City. 64 yards. Toss to Robinson. Breaking tackles to the 20 and a first down. The play clock, so it's just a timeout. No penalty. And Robinson. They're just beating the Chiefs at the corners. Great blocking again. And Robinson rumbles for 12 more. 2nd and goal. Down the middle, wide open. Ethan Horton. His first touchdown of the year. Now again an offside. Dale Carter was going to kick it the other way. It was teed up, and Carter was going to kick it with the left foot. And understandably, an issue has been raised.
But I like Carter's choice here. You're going to fight with somebody on the Raiders? Take on the kicker.
And the holder.
And the holder.
I guess it's not funny when you're down there scrambling, but Carter saw it teed up, figured I'll just kick it the other way.
Yeah, believe me, though, he will take a lot of heat from his teammates for trying to take on the kicker and the holder.
Teed up. Here comes 34 Carter. He's mad because Gossett pulled it away from him.
He loosied him. He pulled it away.
The old backyard trick.
Yes. Yes. That's not fair, Carter says.
Allen the tailback. Jones in motion. And it's the reverse to Hassan Jones. No, it's Fred Jones that goes across the 40 and a first down at the 42. Fred and Hassan, 80-81, not related. Sold out. First game televised here in Los Angeles in a couple of years. Todd McNair gets a chance, and he plows to midfield, a gain of nearly 8 more before Derek Hoskins, number 20, from his safety spot, can make the stop. 2nd and short. Craig pumps and then into the flat. And it's McNair again his second catch and a first down at the Raider 40-yard line. Winston Moss makes the stop.
Howie Long is in there with Harrison, Townsend, and it looks like Anthony Smith. Yes.
Craig has to throw it away. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7, trailing 14-0. Underneath, and that's going to be good enough for the first down. Willie Davis again, tackled by Torn Dorn. Anders in motion. Could be some offsides, and up the middle goes McNair. Is looking past. They go run and pick up 9 yards before Winston Moss and Lionel Washington can make the stop. Now Keith Cash moves to a wing right. Now back left. Up the middle, Marcus Allen. He has the first down at the 16-yard line.
Howie is a great teacher.
That's right. Doesn't hurt to have him playing beside him. Approaching the 2-minute warning. Craig underneath. Took it Anders, and it's a touchdown. Kimball Anders. 15-yard play. And for Dave Craig, that breaks a tie on the all-time touchdown list. He was tied with Terry Bradshaw and Y.A. Tittle. David Craig, Milton College, with those names, and he moves ahead.
First plane ride he ever took was to Seattle to sign his contract. The first playbook he ever had was a professional playbook from the Seattle Seahawks, and they played that beautifully. Joe Kelly, the middle linebacker, I think, is the guy who was supposed to be the man in coverage, and Kimball Anders went right by him.
213th career touchdown throw by Craig. He's now a number 11 all-time in the history of the NFL. Nick Lowry adds the extra point, and immediately ahead, John Brody, one ahead of Dave Craig as he continues to climb. Of all the great players in NFL history, he might be the least known for what he has accomplished. That's as close as we can let you get to our executive producer. Hostetler underneath to Horton. They hooked up on the touchdown that made it 14-0, and Horton a first down at the 38-yard line. Dale Carter on the coverage. About 52 from where they now stand. Hostetler again, plenty of time. And throws complete to Tim Brown, coming back to meet the ball. No, it's Ismail. Rocket Ismail doing a good job. 35 yards. And it is good. Just did slip through the left side. And he's been a good fit. Greg Robinson, and twisted down by Jaime Fields, who's playing because of Tracy Rogers' injury being a factor, and Hostetler from long range wanted, of course, the first down. Punt by Gossett is first of the game off the side of the foot, and will go out of bounds around the 40-yard line, make it the 42 of the Chiefs. Gossett, who's been averaging just under 43 a punt, gets only 33 on that one. Florida State still has a couple of weeks away from the University of Florida. Pass almost intercepted. It was intended for Davis, knocked in the air, and Derek Hoskins closest to it. First Kansas City chance. And Marcus Allen had a hole, but tripped up number 91, Chester McLaughlin. One of those meaty forearms down in the way and knocked Marcus off his feet. Looked as if there was some yardage there. So far, 8 carries, 22 yards, and a fumble for Allen. On third down, Craig downfield to Davis, and Davis to the 30-yard line. That's the biggest play of the day for Kansas City, 29 yards.
He's moved in with Howie Long.
Give is to Anders, and caught by a jersey and ripped down. Aaron Wallace makes the play. 47 yards. Into swirling winds. It is no good. Blown wide left. Nice receiving. Hostetler wide open. Tim Brown, 40, 30, 26-yard line. Kevin Ross finally tackles him. The flag is down. Smith waving folks to come on back to the 20-yard line. Raiders haven't seen many yellow flags today. This is a big one. Takes away
71 offense, 10 yards to previous spot. Repeat first down.
44-yard penalty plus 10. That's a 54-yard mistake. Gerald Pallery on the hold. 3rd and 15. They flush him out, and he throws upfield, almost intercepted. Oh my, Jay Taylor on the overthrow as Hostetler, almost a mistake there.
Inspiration.
17-7 Raiders, 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and Craig on the toss to Anders. And the fullback barrels out to the 41-yard line. Anderson comes up from safety to make the stop. Craig scrambling. He'll run it. And out of bounds with a first down at the 48-yard line. Todd McNair, who gets another good gainer, about 8 yards on first down to the Raider 44-yard line before Moss and Hoskins can get in the way. Marcus Allen back in the game, and he's got some running room. Dancing, gets a block, twists away. What an effort by Allen at the 10. He's down at the 5. Oh, that is vintage Marcus Allen. Weaving, dodging, darting his way into the secondary. A 39-yard run.
Dick on a play that didn't appear that it was going to make much yards at all. 68 Shields up through there. Marcus turns his shoulders. Nice move. 48 Washington falls down. Gets by Eddie Anderson. 36 Terry McDaniel. And then the only part that shows Marcus Allen's age, he gets caught from behind here. 7 or 8 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
He saved his longest run of the year for Al Davis, 39 yards. His previous high was 22. Marcus at tailback. It's the tight end Cash in motion. Marcus, he's at the 1. Touchdown! Carrying the Raiders tackler the best they have, according to their defensive coach, Eddie Anderson, into the end zone with him.
That is Marcus Allen's 7th touchdown this season.
118 touchdowns. Had 4 today. This one is returnable. At the 9, it's Rocket. Ismael, 25, 30, 35, to the 40, and they love it in the Coliseum. As the Raiders lead reduced to a field goal. Hostetler into the flat, wide open is Horton again. He's been open all day and has a first down at the Kansas City 47. Carter comes up to make the tackle. First half to show the dominance, and that's a fine kick out of bounds. Has to punt 3 times here in the 3rd, which is an indication of perhaps some momentum shift. And they finally spotted at the 11-yard line, a 34-yard punt. Craig. Incomplete, and no flag as some of the Chiefs are on the field, and Schottenheimer with them. Hoskins all over the back of Willie Davis. So Tim Brown with 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Raiders, and Brian Barker punting from his 5-yard line. Just got it away, and the wind really tailing that away from Brown. Good catch at the 38-yard line. And out of bounds at the 39. Well covered by Fred Jones, number 80.
When he got to column B, it stopped working.
And Carter waits for Gossett kicking into the wind. Carter at the 22.
Well, it's got a chance.
And twisted down at the 33-yard line. To go in the 3rd. Play action, and
he's open.
First down has a man wide open. Willie Davis, no one near him. It'll be a touchdown, Kansas City.
Whoa!
And Craig with that throw ties John Brody, his 214th touchdown pass, and he's never had a receiver, including Steve Largent, more in the open. The Raiders were scrambling everywhere, but no one went after Davis.
Nobody.
Hostetler barely going to beat that clock. And in a crowd throws incomplete and another drop. And this time it's James Jett. So betrayed by his receivers.
That's it.
Carter back at the 45, and Gossett hits this one. Whoa, what a kick. Carter waiting for the blocks to set up, and now foot race. 40, 50, 45, and out of bounds in front of the Raider bench at the 45-yard line. Dan Land got him a 28-yard return by Dale Carter, and here come the Chiefs again. And Craig will repeat again, 1 for 7 on third down and 3 yards. It's a screen to Marcus, and Howie Long makes the tackle. Hostetler to Horton, and the tight end with a first down at the 14. Second and long for Hostetler. Into the end zone. Broken up. Intended for Alexander Wright, and the veteran Albert Lewis was there to deny. Jaeger with a short field goal, 30 yards. And look at the wind play tricks with it. He's good again. So Jeff Jaeger is 18 for 20 this year. Todd McNair. And McNair fighting for yardage and has a first down. 11 plus on that carry. And the give to Marcus. Oh, nothing there. Well done by the Raiders.
Absolutely.
You see the other scores, late scores around the NFL. Here it's 21-20 Kansas City. And Craig to the tight end Jonathan Hayes. And Hayes with a first down at the 42-yard line of the Raiders. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. 21-20. Marcus Allen. Hit just as he got the handoff. That was Eddie Anderson, as if he knew what was coming. Anderson, the safety, was right up on the line of scrimmage to fill the hole. Third and long. Quarterback draw, and Craig is close to a first down and may have gotten it at the 31. Yes, 11 yards on the quarterback draw.
What a call.
And now it's the Chiefs by 1. Consumed 4.5 minutes on this drive, and the flag goes down as Allen dragging people with him close to another first down. But let's see what all those flags mean. Grunard, the center, and Harrison, who is playing near the Kansas City center, both moving, and we'll see what it's all about.
They stopped the clock to discuss what's about to happen.
And when the referee looks at the ball and the yardsticks, it would almost indicate it's against the Raiders. It is. 15th penalty of the game for combined for both teams, and 15 of either offsides or illegal procedure.
Goodness.
That's just amazing.
That's
a preseason kind of statistic. So
First
they'll
down.
take the play with the first down.
But Dick, again, the simplest of things in a game plan to an opponent you're so familiar with or so familiar to you can really make a difference.
Offside, defensive nose tackle. That penalty is declined. First down.
Whoops. Art Shell may have used the wrong word on this side head linesman, because flag goes flying. That could be another march off against the Raiders. Yep, on sportsmanlike conduct.
Goodness. Art
doesn't say much, but what he said there was out of the wrong tube.
Unsportsmanlike on the Los Angeles bench. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And you know it was Art, because if it were anybody else on that bench, he'd be right in their face. So you identified it correctly. It was Art Shell.
Out of his shell. 3rd and 8. Craig ripped down. There's the first sack of the game, and it goes to Andre Bruce. His second of the season. And if successful, forces the Raiders to score a touchdown to win. And he punched punches it through. 24-20. They say 29 yards officially. 3:57 to go. On the 20, Hostetler. Intercepted right into the arms of Lonnie Martz. And Martz, the linebacker, is to the 9-yard line. Napoleon McCallum saved the touchdown. Martz, first interception of the year. Fake to Allen, who carries it out well, and Craig then throws a touchdown to tight end Keith Cash. So both Cashes, the twins, have scored touchdowns today. His brother Kerry caught a touchdown today for the Colts, and Keith has his second of the season and his first catch today.
That never should have happened. Anthony Smith almost bulldogged Dave Craig to the ground. How Dave Craig got away is beyond me.
3rd down and 10. Trying to get out of bounds and unsuccessfully as James Jett. It is a first down. Half the crowd has left the Coliseum, and they might be missing something rather dramatic.
Whoa, what's this?
Toss to Montgomery, and Kevin Ross nails him for a 6-yard loss. The 10th tackle for Ross today. He's been busy at that new spot at free safety. Hostetler has it knocked away, and Hostetler recovers. It was Neil Smith who had 4 sacks in game 1 against the Raiders. Spread. Oh, what memories for the fans of the Royals and all of baseball. So 3rd and goal. Hostetler to the 1, incomplete, and almost intercepted. It was right on the back of Dale Carter. Ball was just resting right there. 4th and goal. Down by 11. He throws, and incomplete, and Kansas City Chiefs down 14-0. Could have been 21-0 early, and they dominate this second half. As the Raiders, things seem so bright for Art Shell's team early on as they were going to tie, shooting for the tie atop the FC West. And Marty Schottenheimer, for the 3rd time in 4 years, lands a sweep on the dreaded Raiders. So now
oh no. Oh.
The test of the wrinkle-free slacks, and that'll give us a chance to see how his cottons are. And for us, this was the play of the game. 66 yards, and it gave Kansas City their first lead in the 3rd quarter. How open was Willie Davis? All alone in the picture. And
wide open, doesn't describe it.
Walked in. And the final gun, and Kansas City, in a game that appeared to be much like their effort in Miami a couple of weeks ago, where they just didn't have it on the road, but they found a way. And the way was Dave Craig, 3 touchdown passes, an 11-point win.